Fourth best player.
Fourth best player. So this is the one that I think people are going to get on me because this is going to be a little controversial, but I got Fred Warner, number 4 at 4. And the reason why, right, I think Fred Warner, I think everybody understands why he's one of the 4 best players on the 49ers. So I'm going to tell you why I think he's the 4th best player on the 49ers. Okay. And it goes back to something I saw in the Super Bowl, okay? Everybody talks about Fred Warner's coverage. And yes, he's really smart. He's really instinctive. But what he does in coverage, I think, needs to be broken down a little bit. He's really good in zone coverage. He has great eyes. He's really good at reading the quarterback. And the plays that you see him cover Hollywood Brown and stuff, he's not covering Hollywood Brown in man coverage. Hollywood Brown is the number 3 wide receiver and running across. And Fred Warner's job within that specific defense is to carry the number 3 receiver across, okay?
Right.
There's somebody else in the Super Bowl that did something a little different and someone correct me if I'm wrong on this. I personally didn't see it. So if you see it, please, I'm willing to be wrong on this one, is the Buccaneers played 2-man. And I talked about the percentage of times they played 2-man. They played 11 times 2-man on first and second down. Dan Orlovsky posted that stat. And when they played 2-man, there was a linebacker that was
2 deep safeties, man coverage underneath. 2 deep safeties.
Right.
Yeah.
And he played press coverage on Travis Kelce, got his hands on him, and he was in man coverage. It was just him and Travis Kelce. It was like a drill, and that's Levante David. Yeah. That's something I'm yet to see Fred Warner do. So it's not to say he isn't fantastic at coverage, but that's a responsibility I feel like if you added to him, I don't know if that would affect his stats. It might, just a little bit. He's still one of the 2 best linebackers in the NFL, but that's just something to think about. And then the other thing for me with Warner is just when it comes to speed and hitting, I feel like Greenlaw is a little better hitter and is a little faster than him. And we're really nitpicking here.
No, that is true, though.
For a linebacker, my top 3 guys on the team, I think, are as complete as it gets. And I think Warner has that little weakness, though he's improved a lot on it, where he's 4th for me.
Well, what's the weakness?
That hitting.
The hitting. Okay, that's cool. I'm going Verrett 4. I'm putting him all the way at 4. And again, he missed so much time.
Is it the San Diego season that makes him more than 1 year?
I think so. I think he's got 2 years. He was a Pro Bowler in 2015, and he was like the same guy last year. There were 4 years in between. So it's kind of amazing. But he's had 2 elite seasons in the NFL. When he's healthy, he can shut down almost any wide receiver in the league. So, again, next year, if Nick Bosa does what Nick Bosa did in 2019 and Verrett does what he did again in 2020, I would put Nick Bosa ahead of Jason Verrett, but not quite yet. For now, I'm putting Jason Verrett number 4 because of his season number 2.
Yeah, and I would like to elaborate on that. I think what Verrett has done is phenomenal, and I think something we don't get to take into account with players like this, because Grant gets to know them a little bit. I have no clue about any of them. I just get to watch them and enjoy them as a fan, but is their personality, their toughness as people and as human beings. And as Jason Verrett, you just have to have eyes to know that he's a special human being when it comes to his toughness and his character. For him to come back from what he came back from, like, you have to be special in every kind of way to have the perseverance and have the wherewithal to go through what he went through multiple times and then come back and play like this. Yeah, I think that deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah, his story is amazing. But that aside, what he can do at his best is remarkable. And I didn't really watch the Chargers very much. I wasn't really that familiar with what he did in 2015. But watching this past season, how he transformed the defense, how he made Robert Saleh so much more creative all of a sudden. I mean, what he can unlock from a defensive coordinator, what he can allow you to do, he makes, you don't have to have a guy like Nick Bosa. You always want a guy like Nick Bosa, but if you have a guy like Jason Verrett, you can manufacture pressure. So hell of a player. I don't know if he's going to be able to stay healthy, or if this was, a flash in the pan, but good for him for at least doing it twice. He can be proud of that.
By the way, the one thing I did want to add with this 2015 season, for those who are not that familiar with it, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure on this. This is just off the top of my head. I think in 2015 he did the best job on Antonio Brown that anybody has done. So that should just tell you, because nobody covered Antonio Brown from 2013 to 2018.